this is the December Practical Board Repair School group, and you know, we are really concerned, and we are going to make a quick video just to bring to the community's attention a problem in our industry. And what is that problem?
False information.
Yes, it is. It's really a shame taking advantage of other shops and repair techs, even the public, by allowing the spread of misinformation, and it's really sad. And today we're specifically concerned about videos and part sellers that are doing things like this. So this is really a waste of money, wouldn't you say?
Of course.
So this, can you tell us a little bit about what this product is? This came to us from his customer, Al, who bought it. What is this?
So Al had a problem with his tablet,
Yep,
which
iPad
in
2.
reality was not actually a problem. Then he probably tried to resolve by himself and went online and bought the kit for backlight repair.
Yep. And what was he sold by one of these, you know, just disgraces to our industry?
So actually he bought a kit, which is actually the what's the name?
Coil?
With the coil, which usually never breaks.
Yeah, I can understand why you wouldn't remember the name of it, because it's,
You never need to.
it's like you don't really need to know. I mean, it's like not something you're gonna need to source the part. I mean, I'm gonna, you know, like this, I'm just gonna throw this away. This is total trash. Here, take this home with you, it's a souvenir. You can hang it on your Christmas tree or something, because you're certainly not gonna need it for a repair. All right, let's take a look at this board. So this comes to us, dear service. I think that's us. I thought I could solder the backlight myself. Oops, no good. Need the right tools like you say on your videos. Hope I didn't damage the board. And we just been working on this board a little bit. Because today is backlight day, and we had some findings. And let's go over these findings. So we did put in a new diode on this board, just because when it came to us, there was no diode on this board whatsoever. So student just put on a new diode, and we're going to see if that was the problem. But I want to call your attention to this component. So what is this component here?
Backlight filter?
The backlight filter, yeah. And does it look good visually?
Looks fine.
And what would it look like if it failed? Does it have a typical appearance?
You know, it might have looked blown up or just a different color.
Yeah. Or a little pinprick of solder, or even totally black on the side. But this one looks good. And we already used the multimeter in continuity mode to test if it's actually acting like a wire, as it should, and therefore sort of an intact fuse. And we hear beep, so that has continuity, that's good, and not a problem. LCD connector, does that ever fail, guys?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, so it does sometimes, especially in water damage. You'll see oxidation at a pin pad junction, or just technical damage to the connector itself, so it doesn't fit in there. But in this case, how do you think it looks?
Looks fine.
It looks pretty good, so that's probably not the problem. Filter's not the problem. Diode was missing, so now we've put in a new diode. But probably it never needed a diode, because it's really difficult to have a diode fail in the absence of the filter. And that's sort of the point, that you have to, you know, like in all seriousness, you have to learn how to get Mark to focus on task. So, in all seriousness, you have to, and that's what we learn here at Practical Board Repair School, where we learn legitimate information, is that you have to think about what you're doing in the signature problems. You know, you have to know what does fail. The filter fails. Sometimes the diode will fail. The connector will fail. And specifically with iPad 2, what did we learn? Tell us about the iPad 2 sort of signature failure right after you get done turning off that station. No, check.
Well, with the iPad 2, it's mainly a software corruption for backlight issues.
Right, so what do you do? What did this guy really need to do to solve?
Disconnect the battery or do a hard reset.
That's right, yeah. And that's just the way it is.
Hard reset.
Yeah, with the iPad 2, you know, it just tends to freak out. And so because it has no hardware damage to the connector, the backlight filter, it probably had a fine diode, and of course it had an okay coil because the coil really doesn't ever fail, then it would have been fine with the hard reset. But instead, the guy finds videos that suggest things like, that it could be the coil. I, am absolutely, as are you, disgusted by these kinds of,
I mean,
misinformation.
Some of these guys have like over 20,000 subscribers and
Yeah.
hundreds of hours of content. Why would
Yes.
they ever tell you that, a coil's bad if that's not the first thing you should look at?
Right, exactly. And so I can't understand it. Obviously, it makes me, you guys saw me throwing up in the corner. It stinks in here now, we had to clean that up. And obviously, we all immediately unsubscribed. And, it's a shame. It's just, I don't know, sometimes you think you know so well. So we are going to fix this one anyway by doing absolutely nothing to the coil. And I do feel sorry for this guy because he got raped on the CyberDoc kit for no reason, and now he's had to send it up here. So we've put back on his diode that he ripped off in hoping to replace the coil and diode. And let's go ahead and have one of you guys go ahead and put in your test housing. All right, make it happen. There should be a little screw there for the battery. Don't mess it up.
Are we testing it or just putting it back altogether?
Oh, this is just a test housing. So let's just see if indeed it's gonna suck if there's something wrong. But I'm 100% sure that it's not the coil or any kind of coil on the board. But I've seen coil problems before. How many times have you seen a coil problem, Mark?
Twice
I've seen one twice.
in
That were two
in
different
a few thousand devices.
Yeah. It's not that it's it's impossible to be the coil. It's just that it's so unlikely that it's a waste of your resources
Yeah.
to look there.
I've measured a coil a couple of times when I wasn't looking through the microscope and touched a couple of spots on the board and heard it beep. But I don't think I've intentionally done it.
I can't find the screw.
You want to just hold it
Press
down?
on it.
What I wonder is,
Woo! I see you backlight. Good job, man.
now, if you were, say, seeing bad coils consistently in like a lot of MacBooks, would you wonder if it might be something you're doing that could be damaging the coils?
I would wonder if maybe you didn't know how to handle your equipment. If you recently made an equipment change, for example, and you just weren't experienced enough to know how to use it, you could be burning coils up. Some of those hot air stations are really powerful, and
Especially the expensive ones.
yeah, that's right. And if you don't have a lot of experience using, like expensive equipment, if you're kind of a cheapskate, and you just sort of, you could damage some coils. Yeah, I'm sure you could. Which would be a shame. All right, so we solved the problem. All right, and what message do we have for the repair community? It's never the coil. Seriously, it's not.